I think that's right. It's a lot of this story is about proper relations. I mean, the king sees something beautiful amongst his soldiers, so he elevates it, brings it close to him. And
Mhm.
then he's a good king, so he passes it on to somebody else. But then that person doesn't know what to do with it. That person is threatened by it and doesn't know how to put two and two together with his beautiful daughter and the bodyguard. So then he sends him away. But I'm still wondering about though his bad act actually does good for everybody else. So there's like some unconscious kind of maybe him following that tradition of sort of the young man needs to prove himself to seek his fortune or whatever needs to prove
Mhm.
himself to before he can be with the daughter is sort of maybe it's like his left brain thinking is actually helping out things there or something, but or following the tradition or something like that. But anyway, yeah, the your
Mhm.
point about a lot of this tale being about true relations, I think that's right. So then the beauty, the soldier goes on through this long journey. He's, you know, he properly goes through the kingdoms. He's not rampaging. He's okay,
He's not
I'm
sneaking. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, he meets with the king. Okay, the king needs this. You're traveling through my land to help yourself. You need to do this thing for me. Okay, yes. And then it works out. He goes up to the dragon. Yes, he has proper relations. He doesn't take the feathers outright. He goes through the intercessory of the king's, I mean the dragon's wife and does it the proper way when the dragon's asleep and all that stuff. Yeah, that
Yeah.
seems right. It's about right relations.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like what you're saying about the nobleman. Like what that tells, what that says to me is like, this the sort of the main character here that we're meant to sort of identify with is the bodyguard, right? And so the nobleman is being relatively the bad guy in the story. He is stopping the thing that naturally is already happening since they have a kid. That's not like, oh, I love her, but no, you can never be together. It's like, I love her and we've had sex and she's pregnant and that's my child. Maybe you want to do something about that. I don't know. No, okay. But but we can look at that as like a message for ourselves, like in our own life when something stymies our wishes, when we come up against something that feels like a resistance or a wall. Like that's not to say that the thing that is stopping us is inherently good in and of itself. It's behaving enlightened. It doesn't have to. But if we meet the resistance that it presents, come to some kind of an understanding with it, go on the way, that actually ends up being to our benefit and to the benefit of everything else because we're the ones fulfilling our duty righteously, right, in good spirits, willingly.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's something that you can see in a lot of like apocryphal biblical stories. Like if you,
Huh.
I've heard like, well, I don't know if it's apocryphal per se, but I think it was Borges had a story about, and I think maybe this is in some of the Gnostic books too, but about Judas basically being the best disciple, that he knew that Jesus would have to go through what he would have to go through, and he knew that for him to go through it, he would need to be betrayed. Like he couldn't willingly go. There had to be some kind of a subterfuge for the symbolism of Christ and his activity to actually manifest the way it needed to. There had to be a betrayal. And so the sort of, Gnostic underground idea of it being that he willingly did that in order to help Christ fulfill his mission. And he gets, slandered for it and thrown in hell by everybody, up to Dante and beyond. Understandably, because if he really did do that, he's a jerk. But if something needs to happen and it's not going to happen without some resistance on the part of the nobleman, or some betrayal on the part of Judas, or I've heard a similar thing said about Lucifer. That the
Hmm.
rebellion There's something there, the snake in the garden tempting humanity, like humanity need to be tempted. We needed to fall in order to have this sort of adventure through the kingdoms and setting everything aright and kind of coming back home again, which you kind of see again in the Bible in the prodigal son. It's the son that runs away and then comes back that there's the feast for, rather
Hmm.
than the one that just stayed. So the nobleman, like you're saying, no, I'm sorry, the bodyguard, had he just married the nobleman's daughter, he would not have done all the work and known the situation of the lands around him and come prepared with an army and money, and like he comes back much stronger than when he left, which is not directly how the prodigal son works as a parable, but it does sort of paint the picture of the one who goes and comes back and is welcomed more strongly for having gone and come back than had
Yeah.
had they never left.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. And please like and subscribe for more of our open minded content and comment below on your thoughts or questions about the story. Let us know if you'd like us to cover another stimulating story, and thank you for participating.